Previously on Everything Wrong with Justice League.
Something's definitely bleeding.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is the final part of our extensive look at Justice League. So let's waste no time and finally end this miserable journey. Okay, where do we leave off? Oh, right, it's Satan's fork again. Yippee.
At last. Praise to the unity.
So the mother boxes combine and suddenly roots start growing all over the place and it releases a red gas clouding up the skies. Don't ask me what those are supposed to be, and before anyone asks, these were never in a Snyder Cut, so who knows what Whedon was going for with these things.
Praise to the mother of horrors.
That face is going to be my sleep paralysis demon tonight. As I suspected, Cyborg did manage to find a box using his own little stupid brain. And so the League finally gears up and heads to the nuclear plant. They talk about how to deactivate the mother box by having Cyborg create a delay from the insides and oh, okay, look. I know I've been sounding like a broken record this entire review, but is he standing on a green screen? It does not look like he's actually sitting on the Batmobile, and these four don't look like they're actually standing inside the wing. I don't know if it's the color palette that makes every single shot look fake, but regardless, it is not convincing at all.
Honestly, I think we're all gonna be dead way before that. And you know what? I don't mind. It's an honorable end.
Okay, what is with all this sudden pessimism going on? Maybe he realized what version of the movie he's in and he wants nothing but a swift and peaceful death. And I don't blame him.
Superman's a no-show. You got no powers, no offense. This guy might be working for the enemy, we don't know.
Okay, can you fuck off, Aquaman? This conflict is already gonna be poorly resolved soon, but now you're just poking an angry bear.
Oof. You're gorgeous, and fierce, and strong, and I know we went to war with the Amazons, but that was before my time.
My tiny sardine has turned into a Urukai's capo looking at your body, Scarlet Witch. I mean Wonder Woman. Nailed it. That's not a joke, by the way.
I don't want to die. I'm young. There's shit that I want to do. I just feel like I never really embraced the sea or the land. I've been alone my whole life, but being part of something bigger like this.
He's sitting on the lasso of truth, isn't he?
Scared because I'm meant to.
I knew it. Just when we thought we would actually get some character out of this guy, it has to be tied to a stupid joke. The MCU would be proud of you. Oh hey, it's the Russian family again. Oh, over before it started. And also, holy shit, those parademons still haven't broken into their house yet? What's taking them so long?
Let them come.
I am totally saving that as a sound bit. So they finally arrive, the rest prepare themselves for battle while Batman pilots the carrier to take out the dome. You already know the gist of these action scenes, so I won't repeat it again, but I will tell you exactly what's visually different with this scene compared to the Snyder Cut. In Snyder's version, the entire battle takes place at night, and none of those roots and crystals, whatever the hell they are present around the town. In the Whedon Cut, however, we have this terrible shade of red coating the whole battle, and it's so bloomy that it physically hurts to watch the scene. Add all the stupid crystals and roots into the mix and you got yourself a visually ugly set piece that looks like it was ripped straight out of a Devil May Cry level.
What the hell is this?
All right, Alfred. We set the broadcast. Playing all your favorite hits.
Alfred, that is not funny. No, what they do is use the siren that distracts the parademons so they can all chase down Batman.
They're coming. They're all coming.
We might not have thought this through.
Fuck right off. You're telling us the goddamn Batman didn't think this plan through? Are you actively trying to make him stupid?
You won't last 3 minutes.
Then let's use them.
On my lead.
Hey, her arc is finished. Who cares? We again cut back to the Russian family as they see all the parademons leaving their house that they still haven't broken into, and they finally flee the rundown shack before the crystals destroy it. Oh, and there's other people back there too, but who cares about them? None of them can ever outdo the iconic Russian family. Batman blows more shit up, uses his Arkham Knight tank to take this tower down, but the parademons eventually catch up to him.
Son of a bitch.
Now hold on just another measly second. These parademons can damage this heavily armored Batmobile with a couple punches and tear up the front windshields with no problem, but they couldn't break into the Russian family's worn down house that looked like it was about to collapse at any point? Talk about the 4 little pigs and the big stupid parademons. These guys suck. Now here is a part in the Snyder Cut that I was blown away didn't make it into the Whedon cut. After Wonder Woman kills the parademons and saves Batman, Flash, Cyborg, and Aquaman all start running together, the music starts to swell up, and we get this grand slow-mo shot of the entire Justice League. Given the amount of times Joss Whedon reused his own Avengers scenes for this movie, it's a wonder he didn't use this shot that almost mirrors that of the slow-mo moments in Avengers Age of Ultron. But I guess if it's not his footage, then it isn't good enough to leave in. Isn't that right, Whedon?
You're welcome.
That audio doesn't sound right.
You're welcome.
That's better.
This isn't the plan. No, Master Wayne. This is the team.
Are you kidding me? That's the best you can do? You might as well say,
So that's it, huh? We're some kind of Justice League?
no, Master Wayne. Just no.
Hey, blame the lady. We would have left you, but she didn't ask for a vote.
Oh my god, the world's about to end, guys. Can you take this seriously?
So your genius move is dying. You really are out of your mind.
I'm not the one who brought a pitchfork.
Well, at least I put on my suit right, unlike you did with your goggles. Those look like shit on you. What the f- Did Aquaman just make a goofy scream? Aquaman busts some heads with a few parademons, which would have been nice to watch if the lighting didn't constantly give me a headache. Jesus, I think I'm going to get epilepsy from this.
Ride ain't over yet.
My man.
Well, I'll be damned. They actually reshot Fisher's face so that it would look like he said that rewritten line. I applaud you guys, but it's too little too late after everything else we saw an hour and a half ago. Aquaman then surfs on a freaking parademon and sends him into a building which only destroys a part of it. Whereas in the Snyder Cut, he took the whole fucking building down. Again, don't ask me why they changed that. The Batmobile gets destroyed, Batman makes it onto one of the nests, and Wonder Woman confronts Steppenwolf. For some reason, it's just her in this cut, while Cyborg and Aquaman were with her in the Snyder Cut.
Is this what conquering is? Hiding from the fight?
Diana, you of all people should know this, but do you not know the concept of defending the fucking objective?
Oh no. You're all
I'm sick and tired of your monologues! Aquaman and Wonder Woman fight Steppenwolf while Cyborg deals with the mother box, and Flash goes on bug duty as he calls it.
Yes! It was gross!
Oh my goodness, that was a lot to take in. All of these are reshoots, which isn't hard to notice since everything looks fake as hell, and once again, I have to wonder if that green goo is actually on the Flash or it's just CG'd onto his body. But okay, look, the goo may have looked shitty, but get a load of this moment.
Thank you.
Nothing like good old Windows 95 graphics. Cyborg connects with the Mother Box, Batman plays some on-rail shooting games, and Aquaman and Wonder Woman continue fighting Steppenwolf, and failing.
Oh, do you see it?
I do, and he looks fucking ugly! Oh no, the Russian family, it isn't gonna make it! But don't worry, because the Flash is on his way to save the iconic family. And oh, Jesus Christ, looking at this in slow-mo is depressing. God, what the fuck did they do to Snyder's footage? I mean, how can you look at that and think that is good?
God, I hope this is East.
Okay, never mind. These guys are dead.
Oh shit, does anybody have any extra quarters?
Jesus fucking Christ, man! How do you manage to make every mother line sound worse than the last?
Power is the only law. You're all too weak to see the truth.
What truth are you talking about? What? I swear to God, you are a living haiku of nonsense.
Well, I believe in truth. But I'm also a big fan of justice. You serious?
I mean, wow. That's the best entrance you're gonna give to Superman coming back. I wonder what the Snyder Cut Superman has to say about that.
Not impressed.
Couldn't have said it better myself. This return is so emotional to the League that Batman actually smiles in this shot. They made Batman smile. And that has got to be the most painful looking smile I have ever seen on a man. His eyes may say happy Batman, but his soul says sad Affleck. While Superman's fight with Steppenwolf is mostly the same, the one thing that's changed is, of course, Steppenwolf's design. And like last time, you will know which scenes were reshot by taking a good look at that super CG rubber lip.
So, how do I help?
We buy him some time, he can stop that box from destroying all life on Earth.
Oh wow, that's very serious. Shouldn't we put a little bit more emotion into this?
Nope, no need.
But why?
Because it's Joss Whedon and he made the Avengers, so we had to treat these world-ending situations like we forgot to buy some Clorox for our bathrooms. What? That's what the MCU does?
I know I exaggerate a lot, but it's amazing how little the stakes feel in this movie because nobody in the League treats it like it's something extremely urgent. They are either too busy joking around or their plan goes way too well for there to be any tension at all. The stakes in the Snyder Cut felt significantly higher because everyone actually gave a shit about the situation and their plan didn't go smoothly. The Flash runs around the entire town to build up a charge so that Cyborg can get into the mother boxes, but Steppenwolf constantly gets in the way and does a major number on the League, and the speed is starting to strain Flash severely. Despite Superman making it in time to keep Steppenwolf away from Cyborg, all of that work ended up going to waste as a parademon lands a shot on the Flash, disrupting his charge. As the mother box begins to synchronize, Cyborg starts to panic along with everyone else. You as an audience member feel the dread and anxiety in this version. You think things would be settled once Superman comes into the picture, only for the Flash to get shot and completely derail their plan. That is how you do tension. But in Justice League, once Superman jumps into the battle, it's pretty much a guaranteed win. No wait, no tension, everything just goes according to plan. And that's kind of ironic when you think about how they marketed this movie. The tagline for Justice League was, "You can't save the world alone." And what does Superman do in this movie? He saves the world alone. In Snyder's version, despite him being their devastating Steppenwolf, he still needed additional support from Wonder Woman and Aquaman. Not to mention the Flash still needed to charge up Cyborg to get inside the mother boxes. That is something we like to call teamwork. But Justice League decided to hell with that and turn Superman into a glorified easy win button who doesn't need help from any of the League at all. Absolutely boring. Anyways, after telling Superman the deal, both he and Batman have a bit of a reconciliation with each other.
Well, I knew you didn't bring me back because you like me.
I don't. Not.
It's not like I like you or anything, Baka.
Oh my god, I can't believe I said that. This is all your fault, viewers. You know what? Fuck you. Fuck you for making me say that. How goddamn dare all of you. Superman hears some civilians crying in the distance, and despite Batman telling him he needs to buy Cyborg some time, he gets up and leaves to go help some civilians. Dude, why are you leaving? They still need your help, you flat-lipped super cunt.
This is definitely East.
Was he running around all that time trying to figure out where the hell East is? I would think for someone like the Flash who can run through an entire town in a nanosecond, that he probably would have stumbled upon the fleeing family already. I mean, what was he doing all that time? Running around in circles?
Slowpoke,
Oh, it's on.
I'll take the ones on the right.
Now, are you guys ready to see Flash's big moment in this movie? I know some of you are excited. I mean, after everything we have seen from him in this film, clearly they gotta give him something special at the end, right? So what does he do?
Dostoevsky.
Yep, he just pushes a car. That's all he does. And even this moment is overshadowed by Superman, who lifts an entire building with people inside to take them to safety. I don't think that's how buildings work, guys. But yeah, Flash's big moment in this movie is him pushing a truck and cracking a joke. Unbelievable that they thought this would be a good substitute for what we saw in the Snyder Cut. You want to know what happens in that version? Well, I'll tell you. In the Snyder Cut, after the Flash gets shot, their window of opportunity to separate the mother boxes had been lost. The Unity is finally formed and it destroys the entire planet and wipes out the Justice League. All of them except for the Flash, who starts to vibrate on a molecular level to phase through the explosion, which, yes, is a power he has and was even hinted at earlier on in the movie. After seeing everything explode around him, he breaks his #1 rule. A rule that he has brought up during the League's resurrection of Superman. If he can go fast enough in a large distance, he is able to build up a charge instantaneously, but by doing so, it causes time to mess up. And as we see here, he is going so fast that the mother box and everything else starts to go in reverse. And this is the payoff. Flash runs so fast that the entire world begins to materialize around him, even forming grounds underneath him as he takes one step at a time, which is accompanied by the sound of a heartbeat. And during all of this is where the Flash's arc with his father comes to a close, because during the Speed Force, he starts talking to his dad.
Dad, whatever happens, I want you to know your kid was one of them, Dad.
And he also recites what his father told him regarding his future and being the best of the best.
You're brilliant, man. Absolutely.
best of the best.
One of the best of the best.
I want you to make your own future.
Make your own future.
You're living in the past.
Make your own future.
Make your own past. It's all right now.
And after all that, he finally makes it to Cyborg, who's just now being revived by the Speed Force, and Flash charges him up and sends him into the mother boxes. These two scenes are a night and day difference, quite literally at that. This whole scene is packed to the brim with well done emotion, incredible visuals, and a great score. One of the best music I have ever heard in a superhero film, and one that you guys are currently hearing in the background. So, imagine all of this. The scene that brought closure to the Flash's arc. The scene that won people over with this version of the Flash. The scene that earned them a freaking Oscar cheer moment at the 2022 awards. The scene that is widely regarded as one of, if not the best superhero scene we have gotten in recent years, and it was the first thing they cut out from the movie. Yep. When Zack Snyder stepped down from the project, this was the first thing Warner Bros. Removed from the theatrical cut. And their reason as to why they did that is very Joss Whedon reminiscent, with the scene of Flash pushing all the debris out of the way to save the civilians, in which they simply didn't understand what was going on. How can a company like this make comic book films for nearly 50 years at this point, maybe even longer than that, and not understand the powers of one of the most prominent members of the Justice League? If I was DC at that time, I would have been hearing a bunch of alarms going off in my head after hearing that. And really think about this. What would have happened if they did not mess with this scene? If Warner Brothers simply kept their hands off this moment from the movie, they would have actually beaten Marvel to the punch with the heroes losing and having to go back in time to reverse the damage. They could have had the upper advantage against Marvel after years of being behind them. But no. They wasted this entire scene that would have benefited them in the long run because they were too fucking stupid to understand how comic books work. That they thought making the Flash push a truck was infinitely better than the Flash saving the entire world. Bullshit. So in the Whedon cut, we never see the Flash's arc get resolved. We don't really see anyone's arc get resolved in this movie, as a matter of fact. In the Snyder cut, everyone had an arc. The Flash had an arc, Cyborg had an arc which got resolved shortly after the Flash's, Aquaman had an arc, Wonder Woman had an arc, Batman had an arc, Superman had an arc, Lois Lane had an arc, Alfred's Gauntlets had an arc, even Batman's Carrier had a goddamn arc.
It wants to fly. This one's saying she can't fly because of a software issue, but I could fix it with a little time. You fixed it. It wanted to fly.
But no. Fuck all of those basic rules of writing and give us something completely generic and forgettable. I hope this haunts you guys for the rest of your life. Alright. Let's get back up to speed. Superman finally comes back to beat Steppenwolf after leaving the League behind, and there's another bad ADR moment.
Is this guy still bothering you?
Never failed to impress me, movie. Finally, Cyborg asks the, special-lipped Superman to help him separate the mother boxes.
Any blowback?
Big time. But I think we could take it.
Good. 'Cause I really like being alive.
Well, I don't. Now remember, in Snyder's version, it was not easy to separate those mother boxes. Cyborg still had to connect with it, Flash had to build a charge to put him inside the boxes, then had to pry them off as hard as possible until he could ask Superman for some assistance. That is a lot of work they had to put in for a task that they knew wasn't going to be simple. So how much trouble did they have separating the boxes in this movie? I stand by my point. This movie is a glorified cartoon.
I take it back. I want to die. Man, my toes hurt.
Oh my god, it keeps getting worse.
I don't even understand the physics of how my toes hurt.
I also don't understand the physics of how I'm saying those lines when my lips don't match with any of the words. Man, they fucking blew it in the ADR room.
Also, they are laughing about this, but it's the most fake and painful sounding laugh I have ever heard being done in a movie. It's actually quite sad that these two had to film this scene knowing it was the most embarrassing thing they have ever done.
I don't even understand the physics of how my toes hurt.
Children. I work with children.
Yes, Wonder Woman, you are working with children. I mean, look at who's directing this shit.
Have you guys seen what's going on outside?
Nice. More disrespect for the Flash. If only this one could go back in time. So after the mother boxes have been separated, Steppenwolf, at this point, starts to have the biggest temper tantrum ever.
I am the end of worlds. Who are you to defy? This world is my right.
Mother, the mean kids took my toy blocks. Please help me. Mommy!
You suck ass. Now, of course, the way they defeat Steppenwolf in this movie differs from the Snyder Cut. In that version, after separating the mother boxes and beating the shit out of Steppenwolf and breaking his armor, he lets his guard down for a moment and Aquaman stabs him through the back with his trident. Superman then punches him to the portal Darkseid had opened, and Wonder Woman, in glorious slow-mo, slices her sword through his neck and his severed head goes flying before being stopped by Darkseid's foot and proceeds to crush it. Now that is a supervillain way to go. Obviously, they can't cut his head off in this version due to its PG-13 rating, so what alternative did they think of? Well, first, Wonder Woman charges him head on and slips beneath him. Superman uses his ice breath, which, yeah, gives us more of that CGI lip action. It freezes Steppenwolf's axe and Wonder Woman breaks it with her sword. This causes Steppenwolf to panic, which makes all of the parademons attack him, and then his portal opens, sending him away with his helmet being the only thing left behind.
No, this cannot.
Recognize that smell?
Fear. No! Leave me! No! Get off me! I command you!
What the hell? That was their best way to kill Steppenwolf. By some Saturday morning cartoon logic where he becomes afraid after they break his axe? I don't think they even tried with this part. I think somebody who was in the bathroom at Warner Bros. HQ was like, oh, hey, what if Steppenwolf's axe breaks, causing all the parademons to go after him when they smell his fear? Oh, that is genius! And he was probably paid very well for that idea as well. All of you blue-collar workers out there listening to this, you should be very angry. And that's it. Batman painfully smiles with Aquaman, Wonder Woman joins with them, and Cyborg says his signature catchphrase.
Booyah.
Yeah, booyah indeed. And then we smash cut to the Justice League all together on a roof. Yep, the moment just happens like that. No build up, no care. And then this starts to happen. Okay, did Poison Ivy take over this town? What is going on here? Why is there like plants being made? Oh, who am I kidding? I'm not going to get an answer.
Glad I didn't miss this.
So am I.
Yeah. Now she's glad.
What a precious moment you three have. I couldn't care less. And unfortunately, it's time we say goodbye to the Russian family, as this will be the last time we ever see them. You people will truly be missed. For the ending, not much of the scenes have changed besides a couple of reshoots that we will see in a bit. Clark and Bruce finally patch things up, Barry gets a job and makes his father happy even though we barely cover his story in this movie. And there's an added scene with Lois Lane giving a report that we will hear throughout the ending. In Snyder's version, it's Victor's father who gives us the big speech at the end. But here, we get it from Lois, and let's just say, it does not hold a candle to what Silas said to his son in that version. Then there's that added scene with Cyborg and his father being on good terms now that they've once again never covered throughout the movie. Aquaman drops on the deck and flops like a fish. The Flash runs. Wonder Woman's doing some hero work, which is also an added scene. Batman has admittedly a cool shot with him in the Batwing, which wasn't in Snyder's version. And finally, we close off with Superman coming back.
All you have to do is look up in the sky.
And just like that, the movie is over. Except not, because we still have the post-credit scenes. One of which, surprise surprise, was added in by Whedon, and the other is a heavily edited Snyder scene. Let's look at the Whedon scene first. This one actually makes a callback to a comic strip where Superman and Flash race each other to see who's the fastest. They're in a field, which I thought was a green screen, but after seeing this leaked screenshot which shows the scene before any effects were added in, and also gives us an idea of what Cavill looked like during shooting before they slapped that ugly ogre lip on his face, turns out this was an on-set location. But would you know that if I didn't tell you? Again, with the color grading, everything looks absolutely fake, so how could I not assume it was a green screen? They have a little contest on who can make the worst joke in this movie, and for some reason, they decide to bring back the brunch joke.
If I win, Bruce said something about you having to take us all to brunch?
Oh, see, now that's cold. That's a betrayal. I feel stung by that.
Yeah, cause we totally needed that. The race starts, and for the final time, we see that absolutely beautiful Superman CGI lip that definitely doesn't make him look like he shit his pants. Whoopee. And now onto the last post-credits scene. Lex Luthor breaks out of prison and he meets with Deathstroke. Their conversation goes about the same up until the end. In Snyder's version, Deathstroke wants info on the Batman and Lex Luthor tells him the identity of the Dark Knight.
If you want the Batman, here is something that can help you. His name is Bruce Wayne.
This little part that wasn't in the Whedon cut was meant to set up the planned Ben Affleck Batman movie, which ultimately didn't come to fruition. But here, they set up a totally different thing for future movies.
We have to level the playing field, Mr. Wilson. To put it plainly, shouldn't we have a league of our own?
And so this part was meant to set up a supposed Justice League movie or event that also ultimately didn't come to fruition. So they threw out a setup that would go nowhere in the Snyder version for a setup that would go nowhere in the Whedon version. You seriously can't make this shit up. And finally, for real this time, the movie is over. And that's that, everyone. The movie is finally over. What a catastrophe this has been for Warner Brothers and the DCU. This is a movie that was plagued with problems from the get-go ever since Snyder left the project. From a nonsensical structure, a terrible villain with no story behind him, a lackluster build-up to the Justice League, to cringe-inducing jokes, bad pacing, baffling continuity errors, and a complete disregard to Snyder's original version in favor of trying to ride the coattails of much better superhero movies with a director who worked on one of those that, let's be honest here, might as well have been considered a fluke on his part. And what was their reward for stitching up this disaster? A movie that is not only received poorly by fans and critics alike, but also ended up being a box office disappointment. I can't tell you if Snyder's version of the movie would have done better than the theatrical cut if he managed to get it out at that time, but I can't possibly imagine it doing worse than what we actually got. I was on my last chance with this universe before this movie came out, and after watching it, it completely killed my hope for the DCU. I went for a good 3 years staying true to my word about not seeing another DCU film, only to break that rule a year ago when I decided to watch one of their newly released movies out of curiosity. That movie in question was Wonder Woman 1984. And guess what? It was the worst superhero movie I have ever seen. So it's nice to know that since Justice League, things have not gotten better for the DCU. On the contrary, it has actually gotten worse. From Batgirl being shelved indefinitely after it was all ready to go, to Cyborg's film being scrapped, to multiple actors leaving the universe like Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, and Ray Fisher, a ton of planned movies never seeing the light of day, multiple box office failures, and the Flash movie, well, that's self-explanatory. You can't convince me that this universe will be able to turn itself around. No bright spots like the Suicide Squad or Shazam is going to be enough to put this utter failure of a cinematic universe back on the map. And it really hurts me to say that, because they can make great movies. They've proven that with their standalone films like Joker and The Batman. But anything that involves the DCU is a complete gamble. And that's why I think personally they should just end the DCU. Stick to your standalone solo movies because those have clearly worked in your favor, but it's time for this universe to go. You've already fucked way too many things up to keep a coherent structure for future movies, and even with all this push for the Snyderverse to be restored, at this point, I don't think even that would save you guys. This should have never happened. We should not be living in a world where a live-action Justice League movie crippled a DC movie universe, and all we will have left is the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and even then, they're starting to overstay their welcome. We should have had the best of both worlds, but instead, we have to watch as one universe crumbles before our very eyes along with their company after the disastrous Discovery merger, and one that has recently been on a decline since last year. I really have to give out my apologies to all the people who had to go through this mess, because if everything went the way it should, we probably wouldn't even be here. So let me take a moment to speak to the cast and director of this movie. Ben Affleck, I am so sorry that you had to deal with all this baggage since your debut. You're not a bad Batman, you just have bad luck. Henry Cavill, you deserve better than this. You are Superman, and they've done nothing with you for almost 10 years. That is unacceptable. Jason Momoa, I may not have been a fan of your version as Aquaman, but let's hope you find better work in the future. Gal Gadot, you are a great Wonder Woman, but it's a shame your talent is being wasted by people who don't care about your character. Ray Fisher, you deserve so much better, and I will never forgive Warner Brothers for how they treated you in the past. And Ezra Miller, no, actually, you can go fuck yourself. And Zack Snyder, I'm sorry, I was against you, but I've learned that things behind the scenes are not as black and white as they may seem. Whatever version you had, I'm sure it would have been great to see, but they gave you such a terrible hand, and let's hope you're able to fulfill your other visions with other projects. I know this has not been easy for DC fans out there. It's never good to watch your favorite superheroes get treated badly on the big screen, but if there is one thing we could take away from all of this, it's that, despite everything that has happened, we would all eventually get the true version of the Justice League 4 years later. And now we can finally put this sorry excuse of a movie to rest and never think about it again. So goodbye Justice League, goodbye Jeff Johns, goodbye Joss Whedon, and good fucking riddance DCU. To finally end this long series of videos, I am giving Justice League 2017 a well-deserved 1 out of 10. Guys, let me just say, thank you for watching these videos. This was an idea I've had on the back of my mind for a while, and I'm glad to finally get it done after all this time. I know it's not content you are familiar with, but I appreciate that you all came to see it anyway. Will I get back to my actual videos soon? I have no idea. I'm definitely gonna have to give myself a bit of time after working on this project for months now. That's, yeah. You know how it goes. But now, I ask you guys the question. What do you think of Joss Whedon's Justice League? Do you actually think it has more to it than the Snyder Cut? Or does the Snyder Cut completely blow the Whedon Cut out of the water? And what future do you think awaits the DCU after everything that has happened? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching, and Warner Brothers and Joss Whedon, I say to you, from the bottom of my heart, fuck you.
I reckon it too.
No disagreement here. I think that, I mean, I don't have I can't show the movie right now. Still a little bit to do, but I mean, there is this. I have this. I don't know if this is helpful. See that?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Just got finished watching that Zack Snyder Justice League.
See that shit? See that shit? You put it out there. You believe that? Releasing the Snyder Cut?
Very excited. Zack's getting a chance to finally see his vision realized. I think it's a great thing. I'm really excited.
If you can't bring down the charger, then don't wave the red cape at it.
And this is number one. In this past year, 2021, there was one movie in which I was able to watch it all 4 hours both times, locked in, never got bored. Neither did my family. Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's a movie that really worked for me. That's the best time I had in a movie.
10 out of 10 for simply fixing the mustache. The mustache is gone. Forever gone. It's in our nightmarish memories.
The characters, finally, in one place.
It's crazy, right?
We've got the most iconic movies coming to the platform in the months ahead, as well as the global phenomenon that is Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Pack your things. Get out of my building.
I was just...
You're fired!